Hey, everybody out there, you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan. I'm here, and I have with me a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone out there?
Hello, everybody out there. My name is Andrew Francis.
Andrew Francis, a very awesome guy who does a lot of awesome stuff. But before we get into a lot of your awesome stuff, could you tell us how you got into the wonderful world of voice acting?
How did I get into voice acting? When I started doing weird commercials and that kind of thing when I was a kid, and I got braces, and I was just so stoked on what I was doing. I wanted to keep doing stuff, and I knew I couldn't really sell, cereal anymore. So I went to a voice audition at a studio in Vancouver here called Ocean Studios, and it was for a show called Sammy the Squirrel, and I booked a lead as Sammy for like 100 freaking episodes, and it started like that. I kind of dove right in, and then from there, I was kind of in the circuit for auditions, and things just grew.
So you weren't one of those young child actors. You've been doing it since, before most people can remember their big
Definitely, but
on-camera
yeah,
careers.
yeah, definitely from before people can remember. I mean, I remember doing the commercials and stuff, and I loved it. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's some sort of weird thing, but my brother, he went to a couple auditions when he was young, and he hated it, and he stopped dead. And I always dug it. I really dug it. And then the voice thing I dug almost even more.
And you got into Ocean really early. Ocean's like the big name, especially for Canada dubbing. And in the early days of anime, it's where a lot of stuff was really taken care of.
hmm Yeah, I definitely, excuse me, got in with Ocean pretty early. The first director I worked with was a guy named Carl Willems. He did Sammy the Squirrel, and he's done pretty much, 70 to 90% of the stuff since then. Probably about 10 or so series. And yeah, it's kind of like a big family over there. There's some people who have come and gone, and but there's a lot of the main people who have stayed the whole way, like a good 15 years.
Definitely. And since you've gone into the business, you've obviously had a few roles that are bigger than others. A lot of people have their own specific things that they remember. But one of your really big ones was the hit movie The Girl Who Leapt Through Time.
That's right.
And could you tell us a
Yeah,
little bit more about that?
yeah, sure. It was a movie that kind of crept up on me. It was a quick audition. We really didn't know what it was going to be about. And I booked, I think his name was Chiaki, kind of the red-haired guy, the mystery man. I won't give it away. But it was a really fun role to do because the sort of the atmosphere of the film was this very, excuse me, it was a very laid-back atmosphere. It was a very, you don't get that a lot with animes. A lot of times it's very action-y, at least on the ones that I work on. And so this one was nice that there was a lot of, silence, and you could just sort of, I had a really good time sort of just pretending I was in that place and just sort of acting naturally. And I think that's what came across in the film.
Definitely. It's one of those things where you can really feel the mood more. It's not just all a bunch of fast-paced action.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Yeah, I actually had heard a lot of things about the movie, other than, the big Miyazaki films. It's one of the ones that are up there for anime fans. Like, you have to watch this movie. Go watch this movie. And I finally got around to it sometime last
Oh,
year.
that's amazing to hear, yeah. And a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it. I mean, we did a few different screenings around town, and it's really good that it's getting the recognition that it deserves because, yeah, people really put some time and effort into it.
Definitely. And for some of, like, your fast-paced action series, you've always got Dot Hack Roots and Gundam and Mega Man. And what would you say is one of your more favorite roles? I know sometimes it's hard to pick favorites.
I'd have to say, what comes to mind right away would be Delandau and Visions of Escaflowne, because we did the series, and we did the series first, and he was kind of this crazy guy, and I was a young kid. I mean, I was only, I think, like, I can't remember exactly, but between like 11 and 15 at least, not no older than that. And it was kind of this crazy character who had a lot of demons that, I had to deal with in the character. And when the movie came along, I remember it was like the series has gotten a lot of hype. When the movie came along, I just was ready to dive into it. And there was a lot of like, burn and maniacal laughing and all this crazy stuff. And I didn't really realize kind of what I was doing until we went to the screening and got to see it back. And it was just this crazy guy, the fire's all behind him and all that stuff. So I think that was one of the ones that I kind of realized when I was doing that. I think I could do this. I think that I might be doing this for quite a while. I like it.
Definitely. And I haven't gotten the chance to see that series, but I have heard that's good. One of my personal favorites is always Mega Man because I, I,
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed that game series in general, and then watching it
Hmm.
in an animated version, it sort of, you know, comes full circle.
It comes to life. Yeah. Yeah, Mega Man was a lot of fun. I mean, that's one of those crazy action-y type of shows, crazy storylines, lots of fun, zany characters. I know that a lot, I mean, I played kind of the straight Mega Man. I think I might have had a few incidentals in there, but that was kind of before my character voices had flourished. But I know that a lot of the voice actors who worked on that had a heck of a lot of fun because I mean, they got to be zany, you know?
Yeah, definitely. You and Brad Swale and everybody else who was a part of that.
Yeah, exactly, Brad. Yeah, everybody.
And, you know, especially, you hear a lot about some of the American voice acting groups, how they're all close knit. Would you say that a lot of you guys up at Ocean are like that as well?
Yeah, I mean, close-knit, yes, I think so. I mean, we're all work friends, you know what I mean? And there's such an age difference, especially between me and a lot of the voice actors and a lot of the voice directors and clients, that it's tough to be friends outside of work, although I'm kind of growing into that now that I'm, 25, 26. But yeah, we are close-knit. I mean, a lot of the voice actors in Vancouver are really good, the guys who really do it for a living. So, I mean, it just happens that they keep booking the roles and we all get to hang out together. You know what I mean? So in that way, the people who get the jobs are close-knit, really, you know?
Definitely. And other than just voice acting, you've had the chance to do some on-camera stuff. Is there anything that you want to promote while you get the chance here?
Ooh, promote. Oh, don't give me the opportunity. Yeah, well, one of the recent films, well, recent, I did it about a year ago, or almost 2 years ago now, actually, is a film called Fakers. And Fakers was a film about myself and a good buddy that I made, a good friend that I made on set named Grayston, who plays Tanner. I play Ben. And I lose a bunch of money, and he comes to my rescue, and we start counterfeiting money at our school to try and pay back the loan. And so it was a film for HBO Canada and the Movie Network. And it ran for quite a while, and I think we got submitted a whole bunch of things for the Geminis, and I popped out with a nominated for a Best Actor in a Leading Role in a Dramatic Program. So we're doing that on August 31st in Toronto. So I'm very kind of excited about that. I've never been nominated for anything, so I'm like, what, me? Are you serious?
And that's always really cool, getting the chance to go out and do something like that, especially when, it's the first one that you've got.
It is. It is. I mean, I've done a lot of sort of stuff on film, but I mean, it's a learning process, especially on film. A lot of people knock it right out of the park right away, and I definitely wasn't that guy. Like, I mean, I look back at the acting that I did when I was a teenager and stuff, and I had a real growing process with my acting, and I went to school for 3 years at a school that's actually, I don't know if they're around anymore, but Lyric School of Acting here in Vancouver. And I went there for 3 years and sort of found the right way to act, and sort of I just based myself on a different foundation and moved from there. So I felt that the film was definitely it was such a great role. I mean, I was like kind of in strip clubs drinking. I had my head between phone books at times. Like it was such a full role that I felt it was the right timing and that I'd been prepared well. And it's just really nice to get recognition, because a lot of times actors go their whole career and do brilliant work and just don't get any recognition. So to get recognition as an actor is you're like, ooh, I like that. Yes, more.
And that's always really good to get involved in a role that lets you get, like, really deep into the character. It really
Totally.
shows in the performance. You get a better
It does.
from it.
And especially, too, I mean, we had a director on set, Pierre Gill, who was this guy who cared so much about the script. You know what I mean? Like, he cared so much about everything. He'd come up and he'd just sort of, like, talk with you and come close and bring you aside and give you these little sort of things that were going to help your performance. And so when you have that, when you have a good script, a really cool cinematography, he was doing the cinematography and he was doing the directing, so he just kind of nailed it. By the way, both got nominated for Best Directing and Best Cinematography. So yeah, when you have that, when you have like a real team that's doing stuff and a real role that you can just like dive into, and I get to be really bad. I mean, it was really fun for me, right? I loved it. So yeah, that definitely helps. There's a lot of TV movies in Vancouver, but you can't really dive right in,
Yeah. And obviously you said you've definitely progressed as an actor throughout the years, but are there any major changes in sort of the technology that you've seen that have helped you out with that?
That's actually a funny story. On Fakers, that film, we were using the Oakley Red, and this was right when the Red sort of just started doing its thing. I mean, now you're going to find it on all kinds of sets, probably 85% of sets. But back then it was like sort of brand new, and they didn't have very big memory cards. And so it was really cool using the Red. I mean, the lighting, and if you watch the film Fakers, it looks amazing. But what people don't know is that these tiny little memory cards would only last for like 6 minutes. So you'd be on a take and you'd just be so into it, and then they go, "Oh, we're out of memory at the red moment, everybody, red moment." Yeah, I mean, there are these red moments that constantly kept coming up. So that was kind of now I see they have bigger memory cards and there's a lot fewer red moments.
Yeah, if I had a dime for every time I almost ran out of memory on my computer, I'd have a lot of dimes.
I'd be rich, I tell you, rich.
I'd have money to buy more memory.
I'd buy more memory. Yeah, that's exactly right.
But we've had a few moments like that here on the radio where something will happen unexpectedly, not as often probably as a red moment, but we'll just shrug it off and go, live radio, carry on.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, sometimes you just got to carry on. The show must go on. Is that right, Chris?
Exactly. And the other thing, too, is with voice acting, I know a lot of or I don't know because I haven't done it myself, but I have heard that technology has increased over the years in there as well, and since you've been doing it since a young age, you've probably seen a lot of stuff over there as well.
Actually, yeah, funny story about that. At Ocean Studios. Ocean, whenever we do ADR, you go through it, right, and there's 3 beeps, and then on the third beep, it's like, oh, there's a helicopter landing. There's 3 beeps, and then you start talking, and you have a screen in front of you, and you match your quote-unquote flaps, as they call them, mouth flaps, to the flaps of the character. Or your words, I say, to the flaps of the character. So that happened, and then at the end of the take, they'd have to wind back, like the VHS, and then play it again, and that would take 10 or 12 seconds to go all the way back. And so this happened forever, and they had it in another studio. They were using CDs so they could just jump right back, and the time saving was insane. And so I was always on them like, come on, you got to upgrade, like it's so much faster. And back in the day, it was always we did Monster Rancher. Me and Scott McNeil would have these contests because they always kind of rated the voice actors on how many lines they could do in an hour. So, if you were really good, you'd nail things on the first take and your flaps would be perfect, and you do like 6 lines in a row. Like for Monster Rancher, a lot of the scenes for Genki would be jumping off a cliff and like stop, and then you get up, like you just have all these different sounds, and so you'd see if you could just run a whole battle scene and just do it live, like you'd watch it once and then do it back. And so that was like a ton of fun, was just like seeing if me and this competition between me and Scott. And Scott will always say he won, but I'm not so sure about that.
I can definitely picture Scott McNeil doing that. That sounds a lot like something Scott would do.
Well, he was doing what? He was doing Sway. I can't remember how he did Sway or something like that. It was really funny. The big eyeball.
Yeah, now they've got Pro Tools and everything. It's even more advanced than just CDs because something's just a tiny bit off. They can shift it into place where it goes.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm sure it comes a long way. They never let me look at funny, back in the day, they used to also have like an outtake reel. And I mean, I swear to God, if that thing was still around, there'd be so many. Brad Swale, everybody's on there. It's ridiculous. Saying the worst things, and they'd be like, "Hey, we got this." You know what I mean? Like, you be careful what you say.
Yeah.
But now they don't have that anymore. Now it's all so advanced, they don't even do that.
That's definitely one of the better things I think about stuff that was recorded back in the day is you definitely get access to more outtake reels, and sometimes they bundle them on the DVDs.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff kind of stuck around a lot longer. Now everything's just like trash bin gone.
Then you can kind of see a little bit behind the scenes by just all the crazy outtakes that go on.
That's right. I mean, I love that. When I would hear other actors have these hilarious outtakes, and I had tons. And I was a kid, right? Like, I was always around these weird, older, like, filthy mouth voice actors. And, I'd try and kind of keep up, and then they'd pretend that they were going to keep it, like, for my mom and stuff. It was kind of embarrassing, but.
Yeah, but that kind of thing happens. But I think on that note, we're going to take a quick musical break, but don't go anywhere because I will have my special guest with me when I get back. So keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.
Do you know what's on 918 The Fan? A bunch of our crap.
Good heavens.
You know what's not on 918 The Fan? A bunch of your crap.
Balderdash, I say.
Want your crap on 918 The Fan?
Quite so, good fellow.
Then send your crap titled Fan Friday Submissions to kibs@918thefan.com, and we might just post it up for all the world to see.
What do you have to lose?
Nothing.
Nothing, I say.
Quite so.
Quite right.
Yes, jolly good.
Cheerio.
Pip, I say.
Ah, yes, good sir.
Hey everybody, welcome back to 91.8 The Fan. I'm still here, and I still have with me my very special guest. Would you like to give us a sign of life to prove that you are in fact still here?
I am alive.
He is here.
Kind of a robot, yeah.
We have to do it every time because we actually have instances where we'll come back from break, or one of my
The voice actors passed away.
Well, they haven't passed away, but we've gotten a disconnect or something happened with their phone. Actually, one of the ones that I was doing solo a while ago, we just started going on air. I'm like, hey, I'm here. This is my special guest. And they weren't there.
Silence. Dead silence.
I called them back. They had literally heard me say, okay, 3, 2, 1, and then nothing.
Please hang up and try your call again. Thank you.
And timing couldn't have been better. Or worse. Depends on how you look at it.
Or worse. Yeah, it depends if you're being sarcastic.
But we were talking a little bit behind the scenes. You've got some stuff that you're working on now that you would like to pimp out to the masses, as it were.
Pimp out to the masses for show. Well, today actually was a big step actually in my sort of career. I get to voice direct and produce our first sort of promo for a new cartoon called Nut Jobs, which is a half an hour sitcom or possibly 11 minutes, based in an insane asylum with one sort of sane guy and the rest all kind of crazy people. So there's like there's Louis, the old guy. Yes, butterscotch, milk and cookies. He just kind of yells weird things. And, there's Rorgon, be short of this guy, I am Rorgon, and he's very special dragon slayer, 12th level. And then there's, who else is there? I'm just having fun with voices. There's Larry, who talks so fast, and he's kind of got a masturbation problem. And it's kind of an adultish cartoon, but so we did that today. We did it with Lee Tokar and Tabitha St. Germain, who were nice enough to be dolls and come in and do it for me. And we did it at Coco Studios, which is like one of my favorite studios ever, on par with, Ocean and Dick and Rogers. And, so that was super fun. Sorry, I'm rambling, aren't I?
No, don't worry. We encourage the rambling. It's all about you.
Yeah, it's true. That was a super lot of fun. I've always wanted to voice direct, and I was a little bit wary going in because, voice directing other voice actors is sometimes kind of sketchy. But I've seen it for so long that it kind of came naturally, and the suits, as it were the clients were super good. They were super direct, and we had a super fun time. So Nut Jobs, look for it. We're going to try and sell it to somebody. Maybe somebody will buy it.
Definitely. And, we talked to a lot of people over at Funimation in Dallas who voice act and direct because they're all
that Dallas, they love to yank our work down there.
But for you, since it was your first time, did you notice any sort of tips and tricks that you picked up along the way? Was it a little easier because you voice acted before instead of just jumping right into directing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, are you kidding me? Definitely. I mean, for the last, maybe year and a half, 2 years, I've kind of thought that I could do pretty well in the voice directing thing, because there's a lot of sort of new people that got introduced into the voice acting world in the last little bit, and being a voice actor with them who's experienced, as all the experienced guys do, you want it to be the best show possible, so you're sort of helping them out, and you sort of say it to them before the voice director says. So a lot of times I'd be sort of giving my buddy who did Voltron, Giles was just starting out, and he's wanted some advice, and he's gotten brilliant by the end of the series. But he needed a little bit of advice, and I would give it to him, and then sort of the same direction would be coming from Terry right after. And I'm like, maybe I kind of have a knack for this possibly. And so, I mean, it's a big deal. You got to have the button, right? And you got to sort of know your take numbers, and you got to go through as you go through the scene and, pick your different favorites and kind of have a sort of way that you think the line should be said, and you have to kind of express to the voice actor how you want it to be said without really, you can't line read them, right? So you have to find a way of saying a thing for them to get to where you want them to go. So I think that's the kind of trick to it. And I've worked with some really great directors, Terry Klassen, Cindy Akers, Sue Blue, like these voice directors are really seasoned. With Cindy Akers, we did 104 episodes of Hero 108, and hopefully more to come. And Terry Claassen, he was Johnny Test, and tons and tons others. But getting to watch those guys and kind of be around them and see what they do, it definitely helps. I mean, if you're jumping in cold, you kind of be a fish out of water.
Definitely, and hopefully we get to see more of that stuff coming from your name up on the whole production credits and everything.
Definitely, man. That is definitely one of my dreams.
And, more work does always mean more money, which is a plus.
Yeah, no, work is a good thing, man. It keeps you going.
Yep.
And I love it. I want to just work all the time and never stop. All my friends are choosing me over beers. Oh, thank you.
And you mentioned Johnny Test real quick, and, we've talked to a couple of people who work on that series, and they just have nothing but really good things to say about it. And I would say that it's definitely one of the better animated shows on TV right now, in my opinion, anyway.
I totally think so, too, man. I mean, Johnny Test is one of those shows that I can just stop on and watch the whole episode.
And, we talked to Marika Hendricks a couple weeks ago, and...
Marika! Oh, my Marika. She's so cute. I love Marika.
And she did confirm that you guys are working on a 5th season for that, so it's been going on for quite some time.
Oh, my gosh. Is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 7? I can't even know. Running together, yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, we had a big dinner, and James came up, and we never really see James. James reports down in L.A., and he came up, and we had this big, beautiful vegan dinner and everything. And it was a big send-off to Johnny Test, and then at the end of the dinner, they got the call, and boom, another season. What up?
And then the dinner...
like Gil, cha, hey, bro. Hey, Johnny, bro.
The dinner didn't seem as monumental. It's just like, oh, hey, this is to celebrate Season 5. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was kind of a switch. Yeah. And I mean, I was stoked. I mean, I find that Gil has kind of found his own in the last few seasons. Like, we've sort of really gone and the thing is, Scott Fellows, who was like the brain of the show, he kind of had to go and do some other stuff. And so, and he had such a vision that, like, that's why the show did so well. I mean, he absolutely killed it. He did amazing, and we love him. And right at the very end, when he was leaving, he started writing Gil more stuff. A lot of like if the guy's if Gil's being thrown around by a gorilla, it says he's screaming. I would start going, like, because he says cha all the time, and he loved it, and he has that sort of, he just lets actors do what they want to do. So I find that, like, I'm just stoked to have Gil around more. I can't wait to just make him do zany stuff. Like, he loves ketchup for breakfast. I mean, he has like a pet panda or something. The guy's amazing.
Definitely. And other than that, we talked to a lot of people who get around to the convention circuit. Do you do any of that stuff? Any conventions that you've gotten the chance to hit up?
I did, not last year, but the year before, and a few years before that, I've been to Anime Evolution here in town. And I know a lot of the voice actors, they jump around in different conventions and stuff, but no, I haven't really hit the circuit. You kind of got to get in and do it, and you got to have the time to do it. And lately, it's just been a little crazy, and I haven't had the time, but I'd love to do that, man. I mean, to see the fans and stuff, and everybody's so stoked, and you go to a different city, and I mean, who wouldn't love to do that? So I definitely hope to do that in the future, some more.
Yeah, there are usually two main factors that people don't go to conventions. One is that they're very, very busy, which sometimes people don't understand that voice actors like to be very busy because it means that they are working, and working is always good, as we have previously established.
We've established that, yeah.
But one of the other things that we see a lot is sometimes voice actors don't get invited to as many conventions because sometimes you have to go promote yourself. It's like, oh, you're having a convention. You should invite me. That would be cool.
Right.
And hopefully some of your fans will be able to get the chance to do that, and you can fit it into your incredibly busy schedule.
Hey, don't put it like that. I mean, we're all super busy, but no, I mean, I've been asked to go to different conventions and stuff, but I mean, the times just totally haven't worked out. And I know a lot of voice actors are kind of in the same position. I don't know how Scott makes the time for it because the guy's busier than ever, but he's about the only guy, him and Brian and Brad and stuff. But yeah, I mean, hey, I don't have a crazy busy schedule. I definitely want to go, and yeah, let's hope those guys invite me more. Come on.
Yeah. So any conventions out there who might be listening, invite Andrew. He wants to go.
Invite this guy. Yeah, maybe, no, maybe, no.
See, we will help promote you. That is what we are about. Your
I like
promotion.
that. Shameless self-promotion.
Is there any other kind of self-promotion? I'm not sure that there is.
I don't know. You'd have to be pretty classy and pretty devious to make it unself-worthy. Yes. No, there's
Yeah.
no other kind.
No. But I do believe we are nearing the end of our time together, as sad as it may be. But
No,
before we let you go,
Chris, no.
no. I know.
Okay.
I don't want to say goodbye either, but we do. We have to wrap this up.
We do.
The time is literally running out. I've got a sand hourglass here, and it's glued to the table. I can't flip it. After it's empty, we're done.
Goodbye, masses.
But before we let you go, we do have one final thing to ask of you.
No, it's a no. I'm kidding.
He's going to be the one. This is the one that says no, guys. I just know it. No, we just ask everybody if you would be willing to participate in our 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Oh, would I? I would. I have to. Yes, of course.
Okay, good. We've got him now. All right. So basically, all we ask you to do, it's very simple. We ask you to say a line. You're used to doing that.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it's only your job. No big deal. But we just ask everybody that comes on to say, hello, my name is, you insert your name. I do this. You can insert a specific character or just voice acting in general. Basically, it's whatever you want to promote the most.
Sure.
And the most important part is, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Beautiful. So, hi, my name is, insert name. I'm a, insert profession. And you're listening or tuned into?
Either one.
Okay, all right. I think I can do that.
Yep, and, just the most important part is the numbers, 91.8 The Fan, because that's the part where a lot of people seem to mess it up. I guess there's some sort of radio station.
98.1 The Fan?
No, 91.8.
I kid, yes.
Yeah, I guess there is a 98.1 The Wave somewhere out west that...
Somewhere else. But hey, screw them.
Yeah, screw them.
On,
we're so much better.
Way better. Are you kidding me? All right, I think I'm ready. I think I've mustered the courage. I'm going to screw it up like 3 times, but I'm going to go for it.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, you can go for a take one.
Okay, take one. Hey, this is Andrew Francis. I'm an actor, voice... See, I screwed up. Hi, my Francis Andrew. Okay, ready? Is it take 8?
Take 62. Let's go.
62. Hey, my name's Andrew Francis. I'm an actor, voice actor in Vancouver, BC, and you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
All right, there you go. See, it's not that
Beautiful, I got it. I was only 1, maybe 5 screw-ups. My bad.
Nah, it was good. But thank you very much for taking the time to come out here. I know that, as we said, you are a very, very busy person.
I'm not that busy. Come on. Leave me alone.
But for anybody out there who missed any part of this interview, shame on you. But make sure that you check out our website, because it will be up there in the next few days. So keep it tuned to your favorite station, 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.